You think you're making a plan that will lead you somewhere, but the wrong plan is just another trap. Planning done right, however, will make you progress faster than you ever thought possible. I started taking my goals seriously about 7 years ago. As I studied countless strategies in planning, I noticed there are 5 recurring themes among every message. You're going to learn these 5 themes, and you're going to be able to make a plan that actually works. Winston Churchill once said that plans are of little importance, but planning is essential. No matter how detailed a plan is, things rarely happen as planned. Ambitious goals are always going to be full of uncertainty and obstacles. That's just how the world works. Churchill's point is this, that it's the process of planning, not the planning itself, that prepares you when life is unpredictable. So let's get into that process. Questioning is the mandatory first step to any plan, and it requires evaluation in every area of your life. Evidence suggests that humans are not as aware of themselves as they think they are. And with constant distraction, things aren't looking up. Thankfully, psychology helps us stay focused and aware by dividing our lives into 7 different areas. When you question these 7 different areas, it prevents you from consciously or subconsciously ruining your plan before you even get started. There are 2 main types of questions that you need to ask yourself. There are factual questions. These are who, what, when, and where questions. These simply require you to pay attention, look around, and notice what is currently happening right now. There's no interpretation, no fluff, just what is. Then you have interpretive questions. These are how and why questions. They play into your beliefs, attitudes, and feelings about a situation. They get to the root cause of how your feelings are impacting your behaviors. They require multiple levels of questioning. For example, if you say you eat ice cream every night because you're stressed, you're required to ask why you're stressed. And then if you say that you're stressed because your partner is stressing you out, you're then required to ask why again. You keep going until you get to the root cause. Doing this type of questioning takes time and brutal honesty. And truthfully, it's uncomfortable. You'll come up against things that you don't want anything to do with. But if you have a purpose, you'll do anything to get through it. Most of us would like to be really fit, but do you know why? One of the reasons that goals fail so often is because they focus on outcomes and not why something is important. When life gets tough and you don't have a core purpose, it's likely that you'll abandon ship. This is when you need a formula for your purpose. Values and beliefs are what create your purpose. Let me show you how. Values shape your life's direction and influence your behaviors across circumstances. They are short, 1 or 2 words. Also, most people think about values in positive terms like love, family, service. But at this stage, they aren't positive or negative. Values are like the US dollar. The US dollar is a currency, and it can have either a positive or negative value. Values are the same. Most people have a value, for example, around cheating, and the belief is that it's bad. Beliefs are your convictions and how your values should play out in the real world. Who should be involved? How should it be applied? And what impact does it have? As an example, if I value service, my belief could be that no matter who you are, everyone should serve those of lower status than them by sacrificing their time, knowledge, and resources to better the community. Purpose is a way that you must be and live to make it possible for your beliefs to play out in your own life. If you know that you value serving others, and you believe that it will change the lives of those around you, ask yourself, what would your mental health need to be like in order for you to serve others the best way possible? What physical state would you need to be in to serve others the best way possible? What financial status? Most people would agree that our purpose would be better fulfilled if we had a better financial status. What if I told you that your financial purpose could be fulfilled right here and now? You do this by getting clear on your how. Do you know what type of person you would need to be in order to get that better financial status? Or what type of person you would be once you got it? It's the same type of person on both sides of the finish line. Similar to how you can't just go back to eating junk food once you get that 6-pack abs, you can't just go back to the same financial habits. Fulfilling your purpose is about becoming the person who gets the outcome, not the outcome itself. Those who ignore this and achieve their goals eventually end up backsliding as people and ruining their success. The good news is that you can become a better person today. All you need to learn are the metrics, levers, and actions associated with your purpose. The levers of a life category are the fundamental aspects of that category. If you do not pull these levers, you will not fulfill your purpose.
Pull the lever, Kronk. Wrong lever!
The levers of your physical health, for example, could be nutrition, exercise, and sleep. Metrics are the results that occur under each lever. For example, if your purpose is to serve, then you may need to get more sleep, eat more vegetables, and gain muscle mass. Physical fitness is an easy example because most people focus on it at the beginning of the year. But what about finances? Would you know what metrics to measure then? What about relationships? The point is that you might need to do some learning. Actions are what activities you need to do in order to achieve the desired metric. It's easy to think of these tasks and rush to all the reasons why you can't achieve them. These are obstacles. All too often, I see people neglect their obstacles as if that's going to make them go away. They put themselves through unnecessary pain, and as a result, their plans fail, if they even get started in the first place. This is why you need to plan through your obstacles. Obstacles aren't always what they seem, and when misinterpreted, they can mess up your plans. Let's say you've decided that you'd like to go to the gym to gain some muscle, but you don't seem to have enough time. Ask yourself why you don't have enough time. You may find that you have the time, but you choose to spend the free hour or so in front of a screen instead. Ask yourself why you spend your time in that way. You may find that you don't have the motivation or drive to do hardly anything else. Ask yourself why, again. You may find that your job is a mental and emotional burden, and your battery is completely drained by the time you get home. You can see that the obstacle changed from a simple calendar shift to a very real problem at work. Now, what you choose to do with this obstacle is another matter. You really can only do one of four things. You can remove the obstacle. If it's social, get a new group of friends. If it's job related, quit. None of these are easy, and most of these are hypothetical, and therefore they're not possible for everybody. So you can try to grit your teeth and get through the obstacle. In our example of going to the gym, this means that you would have to rely on sheer willpower to get to the gym after work every time. While this can sometimes be necessary for character growth, other times it can be wholly unnecessary and cause you more harm than any good. That is why most people let the obstacle block their path altogether. They either give up or they intentionally wait for a better time and focus on another priority. In any circumstance, you have to ask yourself whether the pain of not fulfilling your purpose is worth the value you get from having your obstacle in your life. Most people answer no. And so instead of letting the obstacle block their path altogether, they decide to move it. In our example of going to the gym, this could mean not going to the gym for the whole hour, but instead going for 20 minutes. Instead of quitting your job, you could get another job for a similar company, but at least you won't be around your coworkers. With your friends, it could mean still hanging out with them, but only on your terms. Whatever it is, make peace with it so your obstacle doesn't cause more pain than is necessary, and then move on to your action plan. Have you ever been stood up, canceled on, or forgotten? Or have you ever no-showed to a doctor's appointment? If we view our date nights, appointments, and meetings so seriously, why don't we do the same thing for the things that we schedule for ourselves? The things that we schedule for ourselves typically have 5 things involved. For example, when we schedule an appointment to get blood drawn, we automatically know these things. You know the purpose. No one ever gets their blood drawn for fun. Because you took the time in steps 1 and 2 to think about your life and analyze it, you know that there's a very important end goal in mind. You know what you need to do beforehand to prepare. You're instructed to come fasted. When you prepare beforehand, you will experience less friction throughout your days. You know that there are people involved. The office has scheduled physicians who are ready and able to draw your blood when you arrive. If you do not show up, you'll be wasting their time. When you remember that people are counting on you, it makes the action necessary. It makes you accountable not only to yourself, but to others. You know the time and location. If you do not block off your time, someone or something else will take it, whether it be emailing, scrolling, a needy client, or other lesser tasks. There will always be pressure to be somewhere else or do something else. You know the next steps. Because you followed steps 3 and 4, you know what the next actions you need to take are. When you schedule your plan like this, you're no longer hoping things will happen. You're scheduling a plan that will make follow-through inevitable. Planning the wrong way doesn't just waste your time, it traps you. You spin your wheels, burn out, and mistake progress for motion. Planning the right way with these 5 themes locked in will help you start moving. And when you do start moving, it's likely that you'll need help with execution. For more help, click this video here.